rolling tumors to roaring lampooners, the Tigers on a Roll show starts in 3, 2, 1.
And welcome back to the Tigers on a Roll podcast. I gotta be honest, the podcast is called Tigers on a Roll, but this week felt more like Tigers on a roller coaster. Am I right? Anyway, Auburn football, first game, post-Hugh Freeze era, DJ Durkin taking over, interim head coach at the helm. The final score, no doubt, was a gut punch. Auburn falls to number 15 Vandy, 45-38 in overtime, and sure, it's a loss. It drops the Tigers to 4-6 on the season and 1-6 in the SEC. Bowl eligibility is on life support, and to get 6 wins, we have got to beat Mercer in 2 weeks, who I believe right now is 8-2, and then we got to go on beat number 4 Alabama in the Iron Bowl. And this defense, frankly, got torched by Vandy just a couple days ago. And outside the 500-plus yards hung on their head, they were flagged 12 times for 91 yards. But there is a bright side to this coin, a silver lining. The side that makes you lean in and say, well, hold on a minute. This offense, after scoring a grand total of 3 points against Kentucky last week, they show up in Nashville this week, and they put up 544 yards of total offense, notably having a high-performing quarterback, wide receiver, and running back for the first time since like 2004. I mean, Ashton Daniels in his second start as an Auburn in an Auburn uniform looked like a completely different quarterback than he was with Hugh, matched up with Hugh against a terrible Kentucky team. This weekend, he was 31 of 44, 353, and 2 touchdowns through the air with 89 yards on the ground and 2 more rushing touchdowns. Could have had a third on a 52-yard scamper, but that gets called back from a hold behind the play by Preston Howard. And if anyone in the facility is listening to this, please send him somewhere else as soon as possible. Preston Howard is just not a guy that fits at a place like Auburn. And I'm sorry to say that about him. He is a great athlete. He is not a good football player for Auburn. But Ashton Daniels was decisive, as we know him to be. I've said it a million times on the show. Ashton Daniels was decisive. He was poised. And he was the best quarterback we've seen on the field for the Auburn Tigers all season, bar none. There's no question about it. That was the best quarterback performance we've seen since probably some outstanding game that Bo Nix put together, to be completely honest. And then you had Cam Coleman on the receiving end of Ashton Daniels' great game. An ESPN top 10 one-handed touchdown for a 23-yard tutty that he caught in the fourth quarter. Pulls us within 2, and what do we do but go to him a couple seconds later, and he catches another circus catch for the 2-point conversion. Absolutely incredible stuff from Cam. Shout out to Eric, and shout out to a couple other guys. You know, obviously Cobb and them had a great time on that side of the ball. There were some bright spots in the defense, but holistically, the performance that they put together was the worst of the season and was not enough to get Auburn over the hump to beat Vandy in regulation or in overtime. But here's the $13 million question for the Auburn family. What do we make of this? We got my boy Walker's opinion on it on Saturday night. I'm sorry about the audio on that. It was echoing through the backside of the mic. That was unfortunate. That is a rookie mistake. We should not be doing that. But we got Walker and I's opinion on that. What do you guys make of it? Put it in the comments below. You know, hit us up on socials. Like, was this a one-time fluke? Was this just Vandy's defense being that bad? Or is this one of the, like, this is what's going to be debated all week? Was this the offense that was there all along? Just waiting to be unleashed? I mean, it's an impossible question to answer, but it's the one that matters. Thankfully, the team has a much-needed bye week this week. they get a chance to rest up, and Durkin and the staff get a chance to go build on whatever that was that we saw on Saturday. Because if that offense is real, the Mercer game is just a tune-up, and the Iron Bowl suddenly gets a whole lot more interesting. The loss feels awful, but this is the most hopeful I've felt about our offense and the Tigers in general in months. A lot of the alumni I'm close with, a lot of alumni that I'm close with, hopeful as well. And you know, that seems to be the sentiment on Auburn Twitter, Auburn social media, is that like, damn, I mean, we're sucking it up, but like that was pretty spectacular. So I mean, what a strange feeling. And while football was giving us whiplash, basketball had tipped off in Neville Arena earlier last week. After what some fans called like a shaky opener against Bethune-Cookman, the Tigers found their groove last Thursday, and they put on a dominant show. A 2-0 start is exactly what this basketball team needed, but they still fell 2 spots in the rankings to down to number 22. Like, riddle me that. And we got to have a team, I think it was Arkansas, it was ranked above us at 21, and they're 1-1. So riddle me that. I didn't think that winning games was detrimental to your ranking, but the season starts for real this week. 2 games on the schedule. The first one is Wofford on Tuesday at 7, and that's a game that they should win, and they should win it comfortably. But then Sunday, the Tigers head back to Birmingham for a neutral site against the number 1 team in the nation, the Houston Cougars. And that game tips off at 2. But Auburn has not shied away from elite matchups over the last couple years, and this will be no different. Hopefully Auburn can show out and prove to the country that they are a force to be reckoned with again this year, and that Stephen Pearl is leading a bunch of absolute dogs deep into March, you know, for what, the 3rd, 4th, 5th time in the last 6 years? I mean, come on. It may not be the same guys on the roster, but they are still sensational basketball players. It's just a little bit of a different look. And I've got a couple quick notes from around the plains, but before that, let's get a word from our sponsors. Brahma Marketing is your one-stop shop for everything from signs and apparel to high-impact vehicle wraps. As a certified 3M graphics company, they guarantee quality and durability. They've partnered with Graystar Real Estate, Prisma Health, HD Supply, and more. Stop blending in and start standing out. Visit BrahmaMarketing.com to get started on your next project. War Eagle from the Orlando Auburn Club. Are you an Auburn alumni or fan living in the Orlando area? This is more than just a club. It's your official connection to the Auburn family right here in Central Florida. The club hosts watch parties and networking events for past, current, and future Tigers and their families. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and online at orlandooauburnclub.org. Give me just one brief moment. Hydrate or dihydrate. All right. It was a tough outing for Auburn volleyball this past Friday. The Tigers are now 16-8, 7-6 in the SEC. They hosted number 6 A&M, Texas A&M, and despite a good fight, fell in an 0-3 sweep. I mean, the SEC, of course, as it is in every sport, I mean, is just brutal this year. But the team continues to battle, and they've got another hard week ahead. They host Texas on Wednesday before traveling to LSU on Friday. So best of luck to the ladies, and hopefully they can stack up a few more SEC wins before the start of the conference championship, which will be November 21st and 25th at the end of this month in Savannah, Georgia. If you are a local or you're in striking distance to Savannah, I highly recommend checking that out. If the Auburn Tigers volleyball team is able to make that cut, that would be pretty incredible for them, and that would be a good show out there in Savannah. And some good news from the basketball diamond, or baseball diamond, I apologize. Auburn baseball ended their fall exhibition season, and they looked sharp this past weekend. They swept a doubleheader with Kennesaw State on Saturday. They won 8-2 and 5-1. And the pitching staff, in my opinion, was the story here. They only issued 3 walks over 14 innings, which is always a good sign. And it's a long way to the spring, but it's nice to know that Butch Thompson has the boys working. And we can get some additional, we will do the Tigers on the Prowl segment. We'll get some additional coverage of these folks, and we will make sure that we touch on them later in the week. But women's basketball takes on UNC Greensboro tonight, actually, for their military appreciation and Toys for Tots game. There are reduced ticket prices for veterans and their families this evening if you are in town. They also host Mississippi Valley State later in the week for an 11 a.m. Central tip. I think that's Wednesday. It's Wednesday or Thursday. Tomorrow, basketball plays Wofford in Neville for their Hoops for Troops game. And Saturday, they obviously play Houston in an absolutely enormous matchup at Legacy Arena in Birmingham. Volleyball's senior day is Wednesday against Texas, and then they head to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. And then diving heads to Atlanta for the Georgia Tech Invitational, and track and cross country will be in Huntsville for the NCAA South Regional, and you can stream that game on ESPN Plus. And I know that we have got some folks who are priming for the Olympics. So we have got some studs on the roster out there, and they have shown out. They showed out at the last Summer Olympics in Paris, and they have been competing in a few marathons. So it's really cool to see them on TV when you're able to catch them. But thankfully, you can catch them this week on ESPN Plus at that NCAA regional as their fall season comes to an end. Thankfully, football is on a bye week, but I'm sure plenty of content will come out of the facility to keep up with as things develop with the new offensive scheme that we saw and the coaching search. And there is a huge conversation right now, which we will get into later in the week and over the weekend. What do you do about this red shirt issue that we have with Ashton Daniels? I mean, there's no question that he wants to play. He is a gamer. Jackson Arnold might not want to be a part of this team anymore. I mean, I think he's generally a good kid. But does he really want to just be the de facto starter because Ashton cannot play because they're going to bring him back next year if he's able to redshirt? We got 2 games left and Ashton can only play in one of them. So we will get some more info on that, and we will cover that later in the week. But there it is. That'll be a wrap for this week. This week's Tigers on a Roll, Tigers on the Prowl episode. And what'd you think of the football game? Do you believe like this is an offensive turnaround, or is this just like a mirage? Let us know on our socials. Follow us on Twitter at Tigers on a Roll, X, Twitter, whatever, at Tigers on a Roll. Comment below on this video. If you're watching live on Twitch, I appreciate you. I see you over there in the chat. But this will be uploaded to YouTube. If you are on YouTube, please be sure to like, share, subscribe these videos. I mean, we're coming down to the point where this seems like it's the last channel that doesn't charge you to participate in the conversation. I'm just doing it for the love of the game. So I want you to please support the channel just by subscribing. Share it with some more folks in the Auburn family. Like the videos. Give me your thoughts in the comments. It's always awesome to see differing opinions or get some additional talking points or just have a conversation, with like-minded or different-minded individuals, especially in the Auburn fan base. We have certainly engaged with some rival fan bases, I will say, and those are certainly differing opinions, which is ironic because one of the worst things to happen to the program in 3 years, which is firing a head coach, unified not only the Auburn fan base for the most part, but also a lot of fan bases from former SEC West schools. But We will be back tomorrow. We will take a closer look at some of these Tigers teams as they roll into the end of the fall season, and we will preview that basketball game. And I am hoping to have a guest on to talk some basketball and to discuss the red shirt issue with Ashton, Derek Nix's offense, DJ Durkin, the coaching hot board. The list goes on as far as football is concerned. But until then, stay on a roll. And as always, War Eagle, and we will see you.